our county sheriffs can meet them at the border and arrest them. We need Ohio to be a Second Amendment sanctuary state, constitutional carry.
Yes.
And we don't, people don't realize we use our Constitution for our benefit. You know what? They can make every law they want in Washington, but we can invoke our 10th Amendment, and we don't have to follow their law in Washington. We just need somebody with a backbone to lead that charge.
That's right. That's right.
You know, over there, they're trying to pass, and it's firing right back up. I watched some news here this morning. They want to federalize our election system. So, folks, they can't operate a popsicle stand correctly, let alone our election system. You know, they want to try to legitimize every single illegal walking across the border. When they sign up for assistance, they will automatically be registered to vote.
Wow.
That's what they want to do.
That's
part of that HR 1 bill. We see right now that over there in New York, they just voted to allow 800,000 illegals to be part of their election.
Bullshit.
They did.
Absolutely.
You know, this can't happen, folks. I tell you what, they're already censoring our voice. They steal our votes, and then what option do we have? It isn't going to be good. That's all I can tell you. We're not Australia.
That's right.
We are armed to the teeth.
Yeah, that's the problem.
We are not going to lay down. We are not going to take what they're doing in some of these other countries. So we have to fight to keep our voice. We have to fight to keep our vote. You know, several months ago, I was called out on social media. They said, Joe, you didn't support President Trump. Matter of fact, you didn't even vote in November. And I thought, I'll just squash this rumor real fast. I got on the Franklin County Board of Elections website. I pulled up my voter file. I was just going to take a screenshot of it and post it. Guess what? It said I didn't vote. Wow. So I got on the Secretary of State, and I said, you know, I'm not sure where my vote is. I said, but you better find it. I said, the first thing I want you to do is get the poll book. I want you to scan our signatures and send it over to me. And they did, and our signatures were in there. The very next day, Director Payne from the Franklin County Board of Elections called me, and he said, Joe, he said, I think we found the problem. I said, okay, what is it? He said, well, when they fill in that voter file, they transcribe the signature from the poll book over to the voter file. I said, sounds simple enough. I said, so where's the problem? He said, well, when they were going through that poll book, they must have turned 2 pages instead of 1.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
So I said,
that's a liar.
I said, I can't prove otherwise. Maybe that did happen. I said, all I want to know is, did my vote count? Period. I want analytic evidence that my vote counted. That's all I want. Just prove that my vote counted. He wouldn't answer me. So several weeks later, I was speaking down there in Powell, and he called me the very next day, and he said, Joe, he said, I heard you were talking about the election last night. I said, absolutely. I said, I'm still waiting for you to call me. I said, I talk about the election every night. And he said, well, you just don't understand how the system works. I said, well, enlighten me. He said, well, when you go in, you sign the poll book, they give you the ballot, you put the ballot into the voting machine. He said, there's no voter ID, no confirmation number, nothing that follows your name into that voter machine. He said, we cannot go in and pull that data out and say, well, here's Joe Blystone and here's who he voted for. He said, Ohio is by secret ballot. He said, once the data goes in, it's secret. We can't follow a name that goes with the vote. I said, so other words, you can't prove who I voted for. You just can't even prove that I voted. He said, that's correct.
Oh my God.
I said, but I even have a bigger problem. I said, because you have to certify the vote. I said, if there's 100 signatures in that poll book, there better be 100 votes in that machine. There better be 100 in that tabulator, and there better be 100 in that voter file.
Damn Skippy.
Period. And there wasn't. And it wasn't just me. It was my wife and my son. So 3 votes at 1 address. And that's in Franklin County. How many others in Franklin County? And they still certified the vote. It's wrong.
Yep.
They should not have certified the vote until they found the problem. But yet they did.
Full forensic audit.
You know,
And look who we got.
you know, last year, do you remember when DeWine said, folks, you need to be in bed at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You can't be out on the streets.
Bullshit.
You know, after 10 o'clock, that sneaky virus comes out. Do not catch it.
Sounds like Marshall Mathers, sir.
It sounds like me too. So I decided that very next night, I was with about 100 other people, and we were on a back road in Cedarville in front of DeWine's house, making a holy racket until about midnight.
That's
Right
right.
You know,
Please help.
I'm a grown man. Nobody's telling me when to go to bed. My wife, she tries to tell me sometimes, but she knows it won't get anywhere.
There's probably rebuttal there
You
somewhere.
know, after that, you know, he also said we can't assemble. You can't have more than 5 people together. Matter of fact, you can't have Thanksgiving or Christmas or celebrate an anniversary or a birthday. So I thought, I'm going to start having Liberty events on my farm.
Right on.
Hundreds of people. Because I own a big event center, so we might as well use it. So, at one of those Liberty events, I had the opportunity to meet a gentleman by the name of Dr. Douglas Frank. Dr. Frank, he's a world-renowned scientist. He's a physicist. He's probably the smartest guy I know. And if you followed or you know Dr. Frank, last year he had what they call a depressor on YouTube.
Yep.
Basically, do you remember the wine with DeWine? So right after the wine with DeWine, Dr. Frank and his team of people would have the depressor. So they would enlighten you about everything that DeWine just lied about. And use numbers. Numbers, real numbers. So, after the November election, Dr. Frank started modeling numbers for votes here in Ohio. And he called me and he said, Joe, he said, you got time for a Zoom call? And I said, sure. So we got on there and he showed me past elections. And when you model numbers, you know, nice smooth lines. And then we got to November. In November, those nice smooth lines are now peaks and valleys, straight up and down. I said, well, what exactly am I looking at? He said, well, what I'm showing you is during the November election, at points, voter participation in every single county went above and beyond county population.
Oh, God.
Yeah, my mom voted. She's
Did
been there for
anybody
years
in
now.
here receive a mail-in ballot last year they didn't ask for?
I had
Or
two.
multiple mail-in ballots?
I had like
This
2
happened all over this state. All over this state. A lot of fraud.
Yep.
And then we have our illustrious Secretary of State, Frank LaRose, who is right now going around. He wants you to rehire him. You know, he does not respect our Constitution. Matter of fact, the primary last year, he shut it down at the 12th hour. No in-person voting. Folks, I read the Constitution. Nowhere in that Constitution did it say if a pandemic comes down the pike, you scoop up the Constitution and throw it right out the back door. Nowhere. He did not have the authority to shut that election down. Period. It's up to you. It should have been your choice. Either you can go and vote in person or you didn't have to. But for them to say, we're shutting it down, had no authority. But that happened a lot last year. Between him, between Governor DeWine. Governor DeWine picks winners and losers. He propped up big corporations. They had record profits last year. The Amazons, the Walmarts, all these places, record-setting profits. Many mom and pop shops across this state, I went out and talked to these people, shut down, and they never opened again. Ever. While then, we're also giving people money to sit at home. If we're going to give people some kind of extra monies, it should be to work.
Yep. Yep.
We still have a problem. We can't fill all the jobs out there. If you throw a stone, you can hit a job. All I can say is if you don't have a job today, it's because you don't want a job.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
Wait. In healthcare, you are having trouble getting jobs if you don't want the shot.
That's right, yeah.
And I can attest to that.
And you're right, ma'am. You're right. You know, it's a heinous thing that's going on right now. Somebody shouldn't have to choose whether to work, take care of their family, or get a vaccine. They shouldn't have to make that choice. It should be, you know, you do you, and I'll do me. And we have to get back to that.
The other side cries, my body, my choice, until they want to force something into your body. And then it's their choice on your body.
But even though you say that, you know, a left and right, this is not a left and right issue.
Nope.
Look at all the Republicans down there that think this is all right.
Yeah,
Right.
no party.
They think it's all right for businesses to mandate a vaccine.
Wrong.
I'm going to tell you right now, I identify as a constitutional conservative.
That's right. That's right.
I do not identify as a Republican. A Republican is just the other side of that bird, that wing that's attached to that bird, and the Democrat wing's on the other side. You know, neither of these parties are doing what we, the people, need them to do. The whole darn thing needs to implode on itself. We need to work for the people.
Yep.
And it's going to take we, the people, to get involved to get this turned around.
Sounds good.
You know, every single one of you in here, you're going to have to go out and use your voice. I know you come here tonight to listen to me speak. But then, what's most important is when you leave this building, what do? Do you just go back into your bubble? Or do you go out and spread the message?
Broadcast.
Because if you're not willing to spread the message, then you're part of the problem. And it's going to take a lot of people to be successful in a grassroots campaign. We don't have tens of millions of dollars.
Right.
And this is what they're going to do. They're going to flood the airways. You wait till about 60 to 90 days out. When DeWine lets his dogs out and he starts spending, you're going to hear the most heinous things about Joe Blystone on Channel 4, Channel 6, Channel 10. It's going to be
Well, he's talking about the general public.
the general public.
That's right.
So that's why it's going to take folks like you in your community talking to your people. You know, there's a lot of senior citizens out there that's all they do. Watch Channel 4, Channel 6, Channel 10. So you have to educate your community. Because I can't talk to all these people. I wished I could. I wish they were here tonight. But obviously some don't think this is a priority. They don't see the writing on the wall. They don't see that we're living in a communist country. Show me your papers. Do you know, my wife read me something here, I think she was watching Newsmax, and over there they talked about the Holocaust Museum. Isn't it irony that now you have to show your papers to go into the Holocaust Museum? We always wondered how the Holocaust happened. What exactly
We're
did
working
they
towards it
say
now, baby.
that was so convincing that those people would walk down that path and step onto those cattle cars? What'd they say? I mean, years went by, we all know about the Holocaust, and we wonder, you know, what did they say? Well, we know what they said now, because people laid their rights down. They've been doing it for 2 years now. If DeWine would get on the boob tube down there in Columbus and say, you know what, I want everybody to show up at the Greyhound station. I'm going to take you to a better place. There would be millions of people down there.
Yep, I believe it.
They'd be lined up. They'd be getting on those buses.
Idiots.
That's what's scary, folks. We need independent thinkers. We need people that will do a little research, find the true information. And the true information is not on mainstream media.
No, it isn't.
You have to do your research. You know, it's man, what we're living in today is bad. It's very bad.
What
Hi,
about
ma'am.
voting machines?
I'm wonderful.
What about voting machines? Are you gonna, or do you plan on getting rid of them, or
I'm sorry, say that again.
voting machines? Do you plan on getting rid of these machines?
So what we need to do is exactly that. We need to get rid of the machines. We need to go back to paper ballots and manual ballots. Dr. Frank and I came up with a term, let's vote Amish again. Yes. You know, we can't trust the machines. Frank LaRose is, you know, he's going around politicking. We had the most participated election in November, the most secure election, and the machines are not hooked up to the internet.
Convincing everybody.
Nonsense. Nonsense.
My mom voted. She's been dead for 35 years.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't
Looks
surprise
like
me.
I'm filming for that.
She
So,
voted. She's been dead for 35
you know,
years. She voted in the 2020 election.
we also, anybody in here like to pay taxes?
No. All taxation is theft.
You know, we have 11.5 million people in this state. We got about an $80 billion budget, but at the end of the day, we spend just about twice that. How does that happen?
And Mahoney County is the highest tax.
I think they have a spending problem in Columbus. You know, Florida has almost twice as many people that live there. Well, I pulled this information from the Buckeye Institute over a year ago. So I'll bet you Florida probably has twice as many people as us now. And they only have a budget that's $5 billion more than ours. Obviously, we don't know how to manage money in this state.
Nope.
We got to get that fixed. And then the point that, you know, you can work your whole entire life, you can pay your mortgage off, you retire, you're on a fixed income, but yet if you don't pay that lease payment once a year for your property, they're going to take it away from you. That's wrong. That needs to change. You know, we need to change our tax structure in this state, not a little bit, like they did last go-round. They say, I had two representatives, Representative Schaefer and Representative Stewart. My gosh, we passed a great budget. We saved Ohioans 3%. I looked in my wallet. I didn't see any more money. You know, what is it? Pay has went up about 4%. Inflation has went up about 7%. So I think we got a big problem here. We need to change our tax structure to a flat consumption tax.
That would be good.
That way everybody's paying tax. Right now, the people on the very bottom, they're not paying no tax. Matter of fact, you can pay 0 into taxes and still get a big refund back.
That doesn't make any sense.
Makes no sense to me either. So, you know, a flat consumption tax, everybody pays. It doesn't matter if you make $5,000 a year or $5 million a year. It's all based on your consumption. Everybody's paying a little bit. That will help the middle class.
Yeah.
The middle class is being squeezed out. We're the folks that pay the brunt of the taxes. And by God, I am a middle class person. I just want you to know that. I am not a multi-millionaire living in a glass house on the hill. I'm a blue collar working farmer. I have the same struggles as you do. I work 7 days a week. That's what I was doing, 12, 14 hours a day before I jumped into this.
And that's how the founders of this country were, sir.
When I told my wife what I was thinking about doing, I told her that, you know, God put this weight on me. Her reaction was, heck no. She said, how are you going to do that, Joe? You work 7 days a week. I said, I don't know. I don't have that answer. All that I know is if God really wants me to do this, He'll work it out. He'll work the logistics out. And I prayed about it because I'm the one, I was feeding cattle every day. I was fixing the equipment. If the toilets got plugged up, I unplugged them. I was telling staff members what to do every day. I was doing everything on my farm because that's what we farmers do. You know,